Aloha everyone, mahalo, thank you for joining me today. Thank you everybody that replied to the questions over the last few weeks. The last question I asked was how to deal with overwhelm, or what is overwhelming you right now. So today we are really going to take you from, or start to take you from, those feelings of overwhelm through to a state of calm and tranquility, back into the heart space. So before we do though, just a little bit of background, on what overwhelm is. Now, overwhelm really is a state of fear. So there's only really two states that our mind is in, and we can either be in a state of fear or in a state of love. And that's really the underlying factor, but I'll go into that a little bit more detail soon. But firstly, just to explain a few of the things that came up in all the questions, all the answers that you kindly came back to me with. And the interesting thing is that a majority of us, the human race, are all overwhelmed about the similar things. Now the interesting fact as well is, whilst I'm travelling, I'm finding exactly the same. So it's not individual, it really is a collective overwhelmed feeling throughout the world, I'd say, right now. So really important for us right now to start to put into our daily practice. So when I say daily practice, I mean your rituals. You know, who gets up in the morning and brushes their teeth every morning, who brushes their teeth before they go to bed, how many of you have a shower every day. These are just daily rituals. They're things that we were brought up to do as children, so we continually do them. And it's as simple as that, really. A ritual really needs to be something that you start to do on a daily basis. Now, I know everyone's busy, so I'm not asking you to take an hour out every day and to lay flat and do a meditation. I'm talking about a few minutes every day that can actually take you from that state of overwhelm to a state of calm and peace. So whatever that overwhelm is, it's yours individual overwhelm. Everybody's overwhelm is different, even though I've said that there are certain things that people are feeling overwhelmed with within the world, but it's still individual to you. What is the same is how the body and the mind actually react to overwhelm. So it's really important that we start to do something to change this overwhelming feeling. And overwhelm, really, there's other words for it. It can be a feeling of stuck, it can be a feeling of out of control, that somebody else is in control, so you've lost your power, so you feel absolutely helpless in here. You can feel stuck, it can create feelings of being rigid. All these similar words all really mean one thing, and that means that we are in fear. And it's fear of the unknown, the unexpected, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in 5 minutes. So these tools really that we're going to be sharing with you over the next few weeks are really to just help take that overwhelming feel, turn it around to create a calm, tranquil feel. And yes, you can do this at any time of day. So the other thing with overwhelm is that if we don't do anything about it, that overwhelm actually starts to affect the mind. We start to be living in our head, so we're living up here all the time, constantly thinking about tomorrow, constantly thinking about 2 minutes time, constantly thinking about what happened yesterday, what you said yesterday, what you're going to say on the next email or the next conversation, what you said yesterday in the email and conversation. You see where I'm going with it, don't you? It becomes monkey mind, as we sometimes call it. So basically you're living up here. When we're living up in the head, it starts to affect the body. And anybody that's done any training with me in Lomi or massage or breathwork in the past knows that I always say, when the body's out, the mind's out. When the mind's out, the body's out. And it's so true. Now, you can sustain it. You can sustain it for a short length of time, but it does start to affect the mind first, which we don't always realise. It's just that we're walking around and we're probably stomping around in life like this. We're never awake and looking up. Before we know it, a month might have passed and we're like this. Before we know it, a year could have passed and you're like this. That's really when it starts to affect the body. So you might first notice it with, you start getting coughs and colds, scratchy throat. You might start to get a few irritations, watery eyes, itchy skin, all these little things that start to occur that you just think maybe you've changed your washing powder or whatever. And I know because I've been through this. And sometimes, yes, it can be that you're eating something that you have a bit of an allergy or a reaction to, or it could be a washing powder, but a lot of times it's not. And it's because we're starting to affect the gut. So when the gut's out, we start to get all these symptoms. The gut's out because you're living in that fast pace, that fight or flight mode, disgruntled stage, that feeling stuck. All these affect the vagus nerve. Our vagus nerve, which I'm not going to go into too much now, but the vagus nerve starts in the brain, it works through the heart and goes all the way down to your digestive system. When it starts to affect the digestive system, you're actually on that point of being quite ill. You know, the next stage is illness or disease. So really important to nip this in the bud. Nobody wants to have illnesses, disease or anything like that. So by simply, now obviously this is not a diagnosis for anybody, so please don't take it as that. What I'm trying to do is give you some little rituals that you can start to do on a daily basis that can actually prevent you from getting to that point where illness and disease kicks in. The idea of this is to catch it way before then, is to catch it when you might notice that you're up in your head. And the wonderful thing is, when we come back to the heart space, which is what I'm going to show you how to do in the next few days, you actually start to notice when you're leaving your heart and going back up into the head. So the wonderful thing is, you can hold the reins. You can be that person that's sat on the horse, riding the horse, not having the horse gallop away with you. And that's really where you want to be. That's really where all of us want to be, that we're feeling in control of our life. We've got a nice loose rein on life. We're flowing, we might be trotting, we might gallop for a while, and then we might saunter along. So that's really where we're going to try and take you. And all I will say is that if you do follow these, I can guarantee that it'll make a difference. Now, a lot of people say you shouldn't guarantee anything, but why not when we know it works? I know that this works because it's worked for me. It's worked for people in my family, and it's worked for many of my clients that are in the past, but also that I'm working with right now as well. So remembering that state of overwhelm, it's one simple word, overwhelmed, and it creates a whole box, a whole room, a whole world of feelings. But remembering those feelings are just energy, so we can bring ourselves back into our heart. So today, the first session, what I'd like to share with you is really trying to bring you back into balance a little bit. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, the mind and the body is out of balance. You know, you've got tight hold of those reins, everything's galloping, or you're just feeling like you don't know what to do, you're stuck. So that means really the mind and the body's out of balance. So there's no flow, you're not flowing like the ocean waves. Now in life, when we flow like the ocean waves, everything is perfect, it really is. And to get to that point, you have to put a bit of effort in. So here we go. Today we're going to share with you some heart coherence. And that really means slowing the breathing down. Now, generally, most people these days, unfortunately, are breathing only up here. It's been said now up to 80%, if not more in America, they say, people are only breathing here. Now our lungs are down here, and so we should be breathing all the way into the belly down here. When we start to change from breathing up here, you go from breathing 18 to 20 breaths a minute down to what's the normal, which is probably 10 to 12 breaths a minute. We're actually going to get you to lower that, so you start slowing the mind down, slowing the breath down, which slows the body down as well. And that way we're going to bring you back into balance, back into homeostasis. You know, the mind and body works perfectly when we're in homeostasis. In an ideal world, we'd all be there forever, but it's not an ideal world. So we're just going to try and bring you back to homeostasis, back into Huna, I like to say. So to start with, we're going to try and get you to a point where you can breathe between 5 and 6 breaths per minute. So that means breathing in for 5 and breathing out for 5. Now if that's too much, so if some of you on here that's never done any breath work with me or any breathing with me, so if you haven't, then try to do breathing in for 4 and out for 4. If you're really struggling with that, then drop it again. Don't push yourself, there's no pushing on this. This is a really easy breath to do. If it doesn't feel easy, please don't worry. It's only because you've not done it. When you start practicing this, it just gets easier and easier to the point where you can breathe in for 10 and out for 10. We're not doing that today. So go at your pace. Now, if any of you can't get to that 5 breaths in through the nose and 5 second breath out, please either send a quick message to me via Messenger or comment below. You don't have to say anything, just comment below so that I can reach out to you and maybe just guide you privately. Or one of our other breathwork facilitators can even have a chat with you or invite you to one of their sessions, whatever. We've got support there for you. So to start with, I just want you all to put your hand on your belly. And before we close our eyes, I just want you to take a nice slow breath and just see if you can feel your tummy coming out. So don't worry if you start to look like little Buddha with your belly out. That's all part of it. We want to see the belly rise, not the chest, not the chest area rising. Now if you want to lay down and do this, lay down and do this. It's actually easier laid down, I've got to say, unless you've got a really good strong back. So if you're a yogi or you're practicing a lot of seated meditation, then lay down. However, it is good to practice it sat up so that you can actually do this at your desk. You can do this whilst you're on a bus, whilst you're seated, whilst you're standing. We're not doing it for a long time, so it's really only a few minutes. So firstly, place your hand on your belly. And let's take a nice slow breath in, and you want to feel your belly rising as you're breathing in. Now I know a lot of you are doing breath work, so you can skip this point if you want to, and just go on to it. So taking a nice breath in through the nose, up to 5, and then breathing out through the nose. And the belly will go in as you're breathing out. So it's in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. Now it's all through your nose. I'm exaggerating the sound so that you can hear it. Really, the breath should be silent. Don't worry if it's not. You know, some of you may have congestion up here. If you have, try and still breathe through that nose. If you're really struggling, then block one nostril, breathe through one nostril for 5 and out. And then swap after a couple. You'll find one nose you can breathe through easier anyway. We'll go on to training through congestion in another video. You may even find one already on that we've done in the past. So that's it. If you can't do the 5, then hand on the belly and breathing in for 3. Out, 2, 3, breathing in, 2, 3, and breathing out, 2, 3. Or 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if you all just gently want to gently close your eyes now, let's just do this for a few minutes and notice how you feel. Now, you might already be feeling overwhelmed and stressed and thinking, oh my God, I've got this to do, I've got that to do, should be doing my technology, should be doing this. Take a breath firstly, put your hands on your belly and breathe. So both hands on your belly and breathing in and breathing out. And as you do, as you breathe in, just let the jaw drop. On each breath out, allowing that jaw to drop a little bit more, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5, breathing out. 2, 3, 4, 5, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5, breathing out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, if you can only do 4, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, breathing out. 2, 3, 4. That's it. Letting the belly rise as you breathe in and sink in as you breathe out. That's it. Just keep going at your pace. Remember, there's no right or wrong here. Just whatever's good for you. And now just start to let them shoulders drop. You know, they might feel like they're up here. Let them drop on every out breath, just allowing them shoulders to drop a little bit more. Breathing in and breathing out. Dropping them shoulders. And out. That's it. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just allowing that jaw and them shoulders to drop a little bit more. So you're starting to feel a little bit looser now. That's it. Creating that heart coherence, that balance, that huna in your mind and your body. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just continue now for a few more moments. That's it, in your own pace. And out. And just remembering your mind and your body will thank you for it. You might not notice any difference yet, but you will. And if you start to feel the odd little bit of overwhelm coming in, on the breath out, just let it out with a sigh. That's it. Breathing in and breathing out, creating that balance, that beautiful feeling of balance in the mind and in the body. The shoulders have dropped now. The jaw has dropped. As you continue to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. If your mind starts to wander, just bring it back gently to the breath, counting in 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That's it. Breathing in and breathing out. Remember, if that overwhelm, that feeling, feel any tension coming back in. On the breath out, just let it out with a sigh. That's it. Just letting it go. Doesn't matter what you sound like, what you look like. Everything is perfect. Good. And again, if the mind's wandering, just bring it back to your counting. That's it. Last couple of breaths now. Last breath in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just pause in there on that out breath for a moment. Good. And just staying there, bringing your breath back to its normal pace now. You may notice that the breath has slowed down naturally. And just smile. Bring a smile to your face while your hands are still on your belly if you wish. A nice smile. That's it, as you come back to your normal breath now. Good. Good. And just thank yourself. Yourself a little pat. You can pat your shoulder or just pat your tummy, whatever feels good, and just say thank you. Well done. Say well done to yourself for taking this moment, these few moments, this little bit of time for you. It's important, you know. So many times we just get on that rat race and just think we have to, we should, we would, we could. But it's just nice to take that time out now and do that daily. So notice how you feel. Have a little wiggle around if you laid down. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Just move the body a little bit. Remember that ocean flow, moving, moving. You might want to give yourself a little sigh. As you start to open your eyes and come back. Now that was only a few minutes, and I'm sure most of you will feel different already. Now if you didn't, or if you can still feel that overwhelm, itching into you that you should and things, please, as I said earlier, just let me know and I'll talk you through it a little bit more. But that's only step one. We're just really, what we're trying to do now is just get you consciously breathing, but at the same time bringing your body and your mind back into balance. If everything's everywhere, it's really hard to concentrate on anything or to do any other styles of breath. So we're just really trying to bring you back into that nice place, that gentle, calm, tranquil place. And when you can start to feel, when you notice that you are consciously breathing, you're not just all day long, then we can go on to the next step. So a little bit of homework. I want you all to keep doing this as many times as you can a day. So at least once, try for twice a day. So you could do this before you hop out of bed in the morning. So when you wake up, before you open your eyes, just lay silently. You don't need to speak to anybody. Don't pick up your phone. That's one of the biggest things that people get overwhelmed with right before they even get out of bed. So start leaving your phone out of the room. You can have an alarm on it out of the room, but please don't be picking it up whilst you're in bed. It's like inviting 1,000 people, millions of people into the bedroom with you. It'd feel claustrophobic, it'd feel overwhelming. So practice that, please, every morning. Practice it at night time as well. It's a calming breath. It's bringing you back into balance, so you can do this in an evening as well. But I'd really like to see you trying to do this during the day also. So every time you start to feel that little bit of overwhelm, so remember what overwhelm is, you can start to feel a bit anxious, like you're clenching your teeth, or you need to take a big breath, or you can feel your forehead going down, your shoulders coming forward, or you're just feeling stuck and rigid. Then place your hands on your belly if you can, and just take a few minutes. You don't have to close your eyes. You can count to 5 in your mind and out. So as an example, if you're washing up, whilst you're washing up, breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, breathing out 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you might be doing, and it will bring you back into that space where your heart rate goes into a stable, your heart coherence is becoming back to balance. Mahalo everybody, happy breathing, and I'll see you on the next step from overwhelm to calm and tranquility. Mahalo, my friend, I love you.